Good morning, everybody. I am super excited about today's video. I have been wanting to do this video for you for a long time. I am going to show you how to incorporate whole wheat fresh ground flour into your bread. The recipe that I will be using comes from the Griffiths family recipe book, and it is my mom's bread recipe. It is the same recipe that I have been using for 40 years. We are just going to substitute 5 cups of the white flour with 5 cups of whole wheat flour. And I will tell you why we're only going to do half and half. When you have not been used to eating whole wheat, if you introduce it to your diet all at once and you're having whole wheat pancakes and whole wheat mush and whole wheat bread, your tummy's going to get a little rumbly. So what you need to do is introduce it a little at a time. And so when I make this bread, it'll just have a wonderful taste and texture, but we're only going to go half and half. And that eventually, if you want 100% whole wheat, you can make this bread with 100% whole wheat. The other day, Chad and I got our wheat grinder off of the shelf and dusted it off, and we did a demonstration on grinding our wheat, and we wanted to do that in preparation for today's video. I'll leave a link for that video. The first thing I'm going to start off by doing is preparing my yeast, and the yeast that I use is I'll use Fleshman's or Red Star, Saf Instant. Have I used that one? It doesn't matter. I get that question a lot, what yeast, and I just think any active yeast, I guess they call it active, it's just dry. It looks like this, and sometimes you can buy it in little packets, but I'll buy mine in I wished I had a jar. It'll come in a jar, or it'll come in little packets, or it'll come in almost like a thick brick. It looks like this. And it's just a dry little granules. And so when I buy my yeast, I take it out and I just put it in this Tupperware, and I put it in the bottom of my refrigerator on the door, and that's where I keep it. And if I want extra, which is a good idea to have a couple extra on hand, you can put them in your deep freeze, in your freezer, and they keep for years. It takes 3 tablespoons of this yeast, and I put it in a bowl, or I've always used this. And if you want to get by with 2, you can. If you want to use 3, and I like to use 3, but 2 will do. And then put a tablespoon of sugar in with it. And this just makes it activate faster. It just makes it rise faster. And then you want to add a cup of warm water. Another question I get asked a lot is, where can I find a big stainless steel bowl like yours? I'm going to leave a link to Lehmans.com in the description below. They carry some very nice stainless steel bowls like this, and so you'll be able to find something there. So I'm going to start with 5 cups of my regular, whatever kind of flour you have in your bucket. But look, I've just been talking too much, and this is overflowing. It is very active, so I need to get hurrying. So I've got the 5 cups of white flour. I'm going to add 5 cups of this freshly ground wheat. I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar. And if you don't want to use sugar, don't. If you want to use brown sugar, it can be substituted, or even a half a cup of honey. When you do a ½ cup of honey, you might have to cut back a tiny bit on the water, but experiment with it a little bit. And I've got a tablespoon of salt. Okay, now see what's happened over here. I am just losing all control. I know my cabinets are clean, and I am not going to waste a drop. The next thing I'm going to add is a ½ cup of vegetable oil. In addition to the cup of water that was in the yeast that I put in my recipe, I'm going to add 3 more cups of warm water. So there's 2 cups. And there's another cup, so 3 cups. Now I'm just going to mix this up, and it will be a little shaggy for a few minutes because I'm just going to mix it up until it's all moist and mixed in, and I'm going to let it sit for about 15 minutes like that. Okay, so I'm just going to let this sit for just a little while. While you're waiting for your bread to do its thing for about 10-15 minutes, this is a perfect opportunity to wash up any dishes that you've created and to wipe off your counters and to make your kitchen sparkle. 10-15 minutes, it's all it takes. Let me show you how this looks. It is ready to knead. I got teased plenty in my last video for the way I knead my bread dough, but I can't help it. I'm going to be an 80-year-old woman, and I'm going to be kneading my bread dough on the floor in a bowl. Somebody thought I was kneading my bread dough on the floor. No, I'm kneading my bread dough in a bowl on the floor. Seriously, this dough feels perfect. It's not too sticky. It's not too dry. It'll probably only take me 5 or 6 minutes to knead this because it's just come together really well. I am not kidding you. This this dough feels amazing. This is gonna turn out really well. I can just feel it. Don't forget to put your rings back on your finger when you're done so your little kids don't walk off with them. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this bowl with a towel, and I'm going to let it sit here until that dough has risen up here to the top. And as warm as it is today and as nice and flexible as this feels, I'll bet that only takes about an hour. If it's colder outside, or if the dough is a little tougher, it'll take longer to rise. So I can't just say in the cookbook, oh, it's exactly an hour. It isn't. It is whatever the temperature, whatever. It isn't exact. What's that story about the little red hen?
Oh, I have to come help now.
Are you going to want a piece of bread? Are you going to want a slice of bread?
Yeah. Okay. What do you need?
Oh, wait. You ground it.
Oh yeah, I ground it.
You did help.
I've done my part.
You did help. My bread dough has been rising for about an hour and a half, and I don't think that it's going to rise any more than this. So I'm going to go ahead and punch it down and make it into bread loaves. I think that the white flour rises a little higher. So I'm just gonna punch it down and go from there. Do you remember me talking about these bread pans in my other video? My mother bought them for me when I went to college. And I probably think about her every single time I make bread. All right. This feels wonderful. Just want it even. They need to be even.
Needs to be fair.
Needs to be fair. And then put your favorite towel over the top of them and let them rise for an hour or two, or whenever you think that they're done rising. And then we'll put them in the oven. Okay, the bread has risen, and this is what it looks like. And I've made a last-minute decision. I've had many people ask me, can I cut the recipe in half? Yes, cut the recipe in half. Or they'll say, can I freeze part of it? So I am going to take this loaf and I'm just going to mash it down and I'm going to put it in a freezer bag and I'm going to freeze it. And then tomorrow I'm going to take it out of the freezer and we're going to make some scones with it. So I will make a separate video where I am making scones. But yes, to answer your question, you can freeze the dough, you can put it in the refrigerator, you can cut the recipe in half, or you can make all of the loaves and you can freeze one or two in the freezer and eat the other two. So you can freeze it as dough or you can freeze it as made bread. So when I talk about scones, I don't know, different parts of the country refer to scones differently. So it's fried bread. I'm going to fry this bread tomorrow, this loaf. And for right now, I'm just going to put it in this bag. Could have used a bigger bag, I guess, but it'll freeze just fine in this bag. Get most of the air out of it. There you go. I'm going to put these in the oven at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. I think 20 minutes might have been 2 minutes too long. I don't know. No, they're okay. They're kind of small.
I am starving.
Oh, we'll cut into one. We'll cut into this one right now.
Well, they're not perfect, but
no,
it's the first time you've made whole wheat bread in ever.
No, I have made whole wheat bread. You were somewhere else. But it's been a long time since I've made it, and I think these look pretty good for my first time in a long time. The only thing that I think I would have done different is I think I would have only tried to have gotten 3 loaves instead of the 4. Because I like my loaves to be a little bit bigger. But they're okay. So just experiment a little bit. If something isn't working for you, make some adaptations. I have had a lot of people tell me that my bread, that when they were making the bread, it was too sticky. So, and they tried throwing a lot more flour in. I'm like, no, just cut back on the water. If you're where the humidity is high, and you might need to cut back a little bit on the water. I live in a desert, so I need all the water. So I'm going to put this on a cutting board. We're going to sit down and have a snack. See the steam come off of that? Pretty. This is much more dense than just the white. It'll take less of it to fill you up because it is heavier. Ooh, it's hot too. I'm going to get this buttered. And I put a fresh thing of butter out because it's prettier, but this is what my butter dish really looks like, okay?
Yeah, YouTube reality.
Reality. Look. Ah. I'll let you put your own fixings on there.
It just takes me right back home to when Mom made her
Really?
holy bread. You know,
What a good compliment,
Yeah.
honey. Thank you.
it's good. It's yummy.
Good. Your
It-
mom would be pleased.
It's a little bit gritty. It's, you know, if I didn't know better, you'd dump dirt in it. Maybe right.
Okay, well,
Cut this out. It's a little gritty because it's, you know, the whole wheat, and we may want to turn the grinding stones a little bit closer together so it's just a little bit finer powder.
I like it gritty. I
Okay.
like, yeah, I
Okay.
want to be able to take
And
to
it's
know
fine.
there's,
I mean, it's,
yeah. Yep.
okay,
Okay.
saved by the phone.
I wish you luck. I wish you all the encouragement in the world. I think you should all make some, at least half and half white wheat bread. Yeah?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So good luck, and leave me a comment below and let me know if you've done that or if you're going to do it or how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. Talk to you
Bye-bye.
later.